Hi everyone. Good morning. It's Rita from Miss Rita to the Rescue. And let's see, I'm sorry I'm a little late this morning for the chat, but I'm hoping that I can get a few friends that will come on. Today we're going to be doing some more cards with the Cricut Joy. I know that I've told you in the past that I'm primarily a card maker, a paper crafter really. And so I wanted to show you to kind of jump. Okay, hold on a sec. You guys stop. Be nice. Okay. I wanted to show you something. Yesterday we talked about how to turn 8.5 by 11 sheets of paper into A2 size cards. And then I got to thinking that I have a lot of wonderful paper, and you probably do too, that comes in like a paper pad. And I thought, I probably need to show you all how to cut a 12 by 12 sheet of paper to make cards. And I tried it like a number of different ways yesterday. And really the maximum I could come up with were 2 A2 size cards on a 12 by 12 sheet. But if anybody else has some, good morning, Hope. Good morning, Hope. If anybody else has better idea on how to get more than 2 cards out of a 12 by 12, I am so interested in hearing about that. Sorry, I got a little, I don't know, for some reason my here we go. Okay, so I wanted to show you this card that I made with elements that I cut out on the Joy. I also want to show you this, how to do writing on a tag, how to create a cherry blossom, and put this whole card together. And then the last thing I wanted to show you was how to cut something this intricate with the Joy. So I'm hoping I don't take a super long time. I apologize if I do. Maybe I need to break it down into more pieces. So let's start the first part, which is how do you take a 12 by 12 sheet of paper and turn it into A2 size. So I have 3 sheets here that I pulled from a pad of paper. I think the pad's called Boutique Market. I got it at Michael's. So let me just show you what you would need to do. At least this is how I have sort of come to understand it. So I take a 12 by 12 sheet of paper and I want to make 2 A2 cards. So I'm going to get my cutter again. And I'm going to actually make this into 8.5 by 11 paper. And so I'm going to put it through my machine, and I'm going to look at for the 11 here and trim it this way, right? You have this little extra piece, and then I'm going to turn it and put it through the machine. And remember, we're going from right to left here, and we're going to trim it to 8.5. Let me just make sure it's in the camera. So 8.5, okay? And then trim it. And you'll have 2 little bits of paper that you can save for later. Then you actually have an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. So to make it into 2 cards, you would just simply cut it the long way, half in half, which is 11. Half of 11 is 5.5. And then you have the 2 cards, which you can then fold to make your 2 A2 cards. And that is basic card making. I know a lot of people already do this, but yesterday we showed you how to do it so that you can replace the card mats, the insert cards that are like part of the pack that they're selling for the Joy. So in case you had some very specific paper that you wanted to use, this is how you do it for a 12 by 12. Can you do these? Well, right now I'm not using any machine. Someone's asking, can you do those things with the Air 2? yeah, but right now we're not even using any machine. So I guess the answer is yeah, I guess, yeah. So, anyway, so here's our two cards. Let's also look now at this card that I made using that 12 by 12 sheet. Oh, okay, you mean intricate cuts? Yeah, absolutely. You can do intricate cuts on the Air too. There's actually a custom setting called Cardstock for intricate cuts. And that you can choose if you wanted to do that. And this is what I would consider to be an intricate cut. And I've cut these on both Maker and my Air 2 Explore. And I've also now cut them on the Joy, and they come out perfect no matter what machine that I use. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about this tag. So the tag is, good morning, Felicia. Let's talk a little bit about this tag. So the tag is basically a cutout, and it has some writing on it. And by the way, I'm going to give you this entire file, and you can use it on any machine that you want to use it on. It's not limited to any one machine. And actually in the file will be the card with the scoring. So you will need to, if you want to cut it on the Joy, you will need to not do the card or just do the card without the scoring, okay? So basically taking this base, we're going to make this flower and we're going to make this tag. So next up is this tag. And again, going to do this on the Joy using my iPad, but you can, of course, use this on any other Cricut machine that uses Design Space, okay? I want to just connect my Joy via Bluetooth, so I'm going to go do that right now. And that's super important. Whatever you happen to be using for the Joy, you need to make a connection, establish a connection with Bluetooth. Also, if you have a machine that's Bluetooth, and that would include the Air 2, and the Maker, you can do this with your iPad or your phone using Bluetooth as well. So we're going to make this cut that has both writing and a cut on it. And I have set it up to make it so I probably don't need to show you that part, but we do need to put a pen in. I'm going to show you how to put the pen in and take the blade out and go that way. I'm going to choose medium cardstock. And, let me get it. Okay, so this is an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper that I cut to be 4.5 inches, 4.25 inches actually. The maximum space for cutting on a mat is 4.25. So one of your measurements cannot exceed 4.25, okay? When you're working with the Joy. That's not the same with the other machines, but for the Joy, it's 4.25. So I'm going to put this into my Joy. I'm getting ready to cut it. But I need to take out the blade and put in the pen. So to take out the blade, all you do is open this clamp and remove the blade with the housing. And then you take the cover off your pen, and it does have to be a Cricut Joy pen if you're going to use it in the Joy. And again, you can make adjustments for another machine if you'd like. Now, you do not push this down. You just pop it in there and close the clamp, okay? The other machines, you do have to sort of support that, the whole housing thing while you push it down and it snaps into place. So my machine is telling me, my iPad is telling me that I need to load my pen, and then later on I'm going to have to use the blade. So I'm going to hit go, and so it can start writing. And you'll see here it's starting to write And it does all the writing first, and then it comes back and does the cutting. So while that's writing out, I will talk also about this flower. This is one of my favorite flowers. It's a cherry blossom, or it could be an apple blossom. It sort of looks like a cherry or an apple blossom. I always call it a cherry blossom. And it basically is the petals, one row of petals, although you can do two, and a little leaf, and then this little blossom, the yellow blossom, and then I put a little pearl here. Good morning, Kathy. So let me show you. These cut out the same way on any machine, and it's basically this petal, the leaf, and the center. And what I like to do to give the card a little bit of depth is I like to kind of sort of fold it a little bit. You don't have to do that. And I removed the scoring. I used to have scoring in there, but I removed it so I could do this on the Joy. But, you know, to be honest, if you're going to mail it, it sort of kind of doesn't make a whole lot of sense to sort of fold it and score it and all of that. So it depends on what your purpose is. But these cut out this way, and I always sort of separate the petals like this. And then I just sort of give each petal a little bit of a fold like this. Okay. I do the same with the leaf, and then I attach the petal to the leaf. I use glue. This is the kind of glue that I use. You don't have to use this glue. You can use any glue that you want, but I do use this. It's called Art Glitter Glue, and I do get it at createforless.com, but you can also get it at Amazon, I think. I like it because it dries clear, and it's really good for paper crafts. So we put the leaf on to the petals. Then we take our little yellow stamen, I guess it is, and put a little dab of glue, and go sparingly. Whatever glue you happen to use, do go sparingly, okay? And then we just put that center in there. Actually, I did not go sparingly on this. Right? And you can, you know, like I said, you can use sort of like fluff it up if you want. And then sort of the last part is one of these little pearls. Don't need it, but it does look really cute. And I've found that the stick on these are not super great. So I do also use a little tiny bit of glue to hold it in place. And that's it for the flower. Really cute. Makes a great embellishment on a card. I've actually used it for making a wreath. Used this flower to make a wreath before, and I did various shades of pink. I did some like very blush pink and a deeper pink, and it looked really, really nice. Okay, so now that we've done that flower, we need to go back to our Joy and take out the pen. I'll show you what that screen looks like. It says load fine point blade in the clamp. So we just open that clamp, take out our pen, recap it. The pens last for a really long time, but you do need to take some basic care of them. And then we pop the blade housing back in and close the clamp. And then on the screen, we hit go, and it will go back and cut all of our tags. And the file that I'm going to give you has 1, 2, 3, 4. It has 5 different sayings on a tag, and you can always go and add whatever saying you want. I just came up with 5. Get well, thinking of you, I'm so sorry, for like a sympathy, and happy birthday, and thank you. And what I tend to do, usually in the spring, I make a bunch of these cards and I sort of put them together with the new paper that I have. And so then I have a bunch of cards ready at the ready for the upcoming year, you know, a birthday or whatever, just to send the card. Okay, so it's almost done with that. So I guess while we're waiting for that to finish up, we can take our cut here. Whoop! We can take our cut. Now it's done. Let's remove it from there. So we've got, and you can change the color of this paper. I've done it in pink, yellow, white, and this green. I love this green. It's my favorite color. So you can do whatever it is that you like to do for a color. And I guess while we're assembling the rest of the card, I think what I'll also do is to get the Joy going on a couple of those cutouts, so that because they take a little while longer to cut out. Let me see. I'm going to just take this piece of paper and cut it in half. The white for the doily. I suppose you could do the doily in any color you'd like too, I've only ever done it in white, but I suppose you could do it in pink and green and all of that. So this is really a mix and match sort of thing. Again, this is an 8.5 by 11 sheet. And let's see, I'm going to go back to the canvas. And I am going to give you this file so that you can do this on your own, all right? And what I'm doing here with the file is I'm just turning off those tags. Now, normally I would cut this all at once, but I'm showing you just a little bit at a time, so that's what I'm doing here. So there is our doily, and we hit make it. We're going to do it on the mat, and I like to do these 2 at a time, so I'm going to change the project copy to 2, and then what you'll find out is that to get them both on the same sheet of paper, you do have to change the material size, and there you have a couple choices there, and this one is the 12-inch size. So there you go, it shows up 2 on there. I want to point out too here, sometimes to save your material, you might want to move around your cuts. In this case, not so much, but if you, for instance, wanted to try to fit 5 of these or 4 of these onto, I don't know if 4 would fit, but maybe 3 would, the machine would assume that 3 doesn't fit. You can always just touch on that and move it around, you see? So you have some say as to where things go on your mat. And then this is medium cardstock. There is not a setting here, by the way, for the person that asked me about intricate cuts. There's not a setting for intricate cuts on the Joy. I'm not sure why. I think maybe because, I don't know. I don't know why. I can ask, but I think that the intricate cuts setting is something I always use on my Explore Air and Maker so that it's more precise. But in this case, I haven't found that to be the case, needing it to be the case. Okay, so we're going to let that go. And then to assemble the card, sorry for the reach, I'm going to take our little card here, and then we're going to pair it with something that we like, and we can use the doily in the back, or you can mix and match it out as much as your heart can, wants, and then put this here. You might want to put it there, something like that. I think that looks really lovely. So I'm going to use my glue again. First, I'm going to put the doily on there, and again with the glue, personally, I'm a fan of liquid glue. I wouldn't use hot glue for this. Maybe to assemble a whole slew of flowers I would. But one of the things about glue is you have to really be very use it very sparingly, use it very frugally, because you don't want it to like sort of leak out from beneath your cut. And then also if you use too much, it tends to warp the paper. So let's see, I think here looks nice. And then we'll take our thinking of you, and I like to, this looks nice here. Let's put it there. There we go. And then our flower, I don't know, I think this looks kind of cool here. Little bit of glue. And that's it. That's our completed. Good morning, Mary Ann and Lori Jo. And when we finish up, and Judy, oh, you love the card. Thank you. I've been making these cards for a long time, and they work well in both types or all three types of machines, and they're fun to have, and you can switch it all up by using different backgrounds or changing the color of the tags, or adding or not adding the doily. It's kind of a fun project. If you have, like, if you're part of a church that does a card ministry, this is fun too. You could cut them all out or bring the joy and cut out different elements and make cards with just a few slices of paper and maybe a paper pad that works with whatever you're doing. It's a lot of fun. These will use A2 envelopes, and I am not going to be including an envelope in the file. So I buy my envelopes at like Michael's or online at Create for Less, and I usually buy them in bulk, like 25 or 50 envelopes. These are A2 size, which means that it's 4.5 by 5. 4.25 by 5.5. Sorry, folded. Okay. So that is a really simple, but I think adorable card to make with the Cricut Joy. And again, you can make it with other machines as well. I'm going to give you the file. Now, the file does include scoring. So if you go to cut this with your Joy, you need to go to the Layers tab. And I can't show you that because it's still cutting this, but you go to Layers and you would just basically use that little eyeball thing and do, like, so you can't see it. And that's a way that you can eliminate the scoring, and you still use the Joy. You will, if you try to cut this as it is, with the scoring in it for the Joy, it will give you an error message. Okay. So how many people are going to try this? Is there anybody that might want to try this with the card? Good morning. I already said good morning. Good morning. I said hello. Good morning, everyone. Sorry, I don't know why, but my phone is a little bit shaky this morning on the clamp. I don't know why, but so that is really simply an adorable card that can be used. Yes, can be made on the Cricut Joy, and also can be made on any other of the Cricut machines that use Design Space. Do come back and look for the file, for the free Design Space file, which I'll put in the description of this video. If you're watching on Facebook, it'll be in the description. And then on YouTube, it will also be, you have to look on YouTube. You have to use that little down arrow to get to the description to get the file. So I think that's it for today. And my Joy is still cutting out this little doily. This is the fun part of creating cards, is doing all of these little elements and putting them together and using your eye to put together a great little project. If this is the sort of thing that interests you, I'm happy to make more. I have a lot of different styles that I can show you. So thanks so much you're going to try it? Good. Vicky's saying she's going to try it, definitely. And also Tina. Great. So, and Judy. Wonderful. So I'm so glad that you joined me today. My name is Rita, and this is my channel, Miss Rita to the Rescue. If you aren't already following me on Facebook or subscribed to my YouTube channel, would you mind subscribing? I really would appreciate it. We were able to exceed the 3,000 mark over the weekend of subscribers on YouTube, and it's actually gone to 3,100. And who knows? The sky's the limit, I guess, as we go. But I do appreciate it, and I will be back tomorrow. Tomorrow I'm going to show you some tags, some like present tags that come from an old cartridge called Damask Decor, and they're really, really pretty, and we do them in this green and pink as well, and we'll be doing other projects going forward as well, so stay tuned, and look forward to seeing you again really, really soon. Thank you.